Okay, that's a really bizarre. Okay, all right. So you see this pot right now. Okay, so it's got 3 pins. Leave them alone. Don't force this so that they bend and so on. It's meant to go straight down on the. Yep.
My pot's like destroyed.
Okay, so we'll deal with that. Okay. This is what happens. You guys, you take the stuff and you go, ooh, it will just go wherever it wants to go, and let's try that. So you guys take components. The pins are super fragile. And you guys go like, let's try here, and then the pins break, and then you guys go like, oh, brother, my parts are they're dead. Do you remember last time, right? We went through someone's LEDs; they were all broken. Do you remember that? Maybe that was the other cohort, but like this is what happens. Everyone loses time when be careful simply with your components. Okay, so we got this pot. Right, so it makes sort of a roof, right? You see what I mean here? It's a triangle. Well, I should be in the screen, right? Does that make sense? It makes like a roof drawing, a triangle. Do you get me? Like a triangle, right? So put the roof pointing up, right? And then put it like not too close to your 7 segment, just so you have room, to rotate that, right? So notice, put it down, and then it'll be super easy to put down. It won't resist. It'll be all happy that it's sitting correctly. Okay, so this pot is really easy to wire. On the one side, you wire the ground. It's got 3 pins, right? So outside and outside, right? So these 2 pins, you wire one to the ground and one to 5 volts. So you just go. So let's say this side. Oh, sorry. So it's here. Okay, so I'll go to the ground. Okay, I'm a bit far. I'll need a bit longer. Actually, let's go here. Let's go like this. Okay, so let's say this one that goes to the ground. Okay, other thing, I'm actually doing this wrong. You don't want to be having the Arduino on when you're wiring, right? Because you can short stuff and whatnot. Okay, so I was doing it wrong. Okay, so you disconnect the power, right? Because now if you short stuff, it doesn't matter. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's good practice. So sorry for forgetting to telling you and doing it myself. Okay, sorry. And then what did I say? The other end goes to the +5. Now you'll have to be careful. Okay, so say I'm short of long wires here. Will that reach? Oh, I'm lucky. Okay, so you see the 5 volts. Be very careful with this. I need to zoom into this. Focus. Okay, so is it clear enough? Is it better without the lamp? Well, we still see it. Okay, so you see the 5 volts? That's my pin that I want to go to here. It says 5 volts here, right? That's the one you want to use. What's going to be the issue if you use VN is that this voltage is not regulated. Okay, so because the Arduino works on 5 volts. Okay, so you'll want to use the pin that says 5 volts. Okay, so zoom out and go ahead. Okay, so I can go a bit closer, actually, maybe this way. Okay, so you go 5 volts. That's this one. And then to the other side of the resistor. Okay, does that make sense? So now there's this pin in the center. That's the pin I will read. That's the pin I'll send to my analog in. So as I'm going to sweep my resistor, sorry, I'm in the way. As I'm going to sweep through, what am I going to send to my middle pin? I'm going to send a voltage from 0 to 5 volts as I'm going around my pot. And that's what I'll read on my analog pin. Okay? So what we'll do now, we'll send this middle pin, right? If you plunked it right, it'll be your middle. And now I need to go to an analog. Now my wire is kind of short. I'm going to have to do 2 wires. This is not ideal. Okay, so I'll plunk it somewhere where there's no other wire here, right? So I'm on this line. This is really, really not optimal. Okay, use 1 wire, but right now I want to go quick, right? So I'm going to use 2 wires. Am I making sense here? I'm just like copying my wire, basically. And then go to any of the A inputs, right? Any of the analog. Now just remember which one you use. You got like 9 to pick from. Does it matter which one I pick? No. It really doesn't. The only thing that would matter is if I know that some of my pins are broken, for example, right? If you have one of the analog pins that's dead, you would want to use another one. But it's very unlikely. One pin dead, really, your whole chip is probably dead at that point. So I'll just go to any. To make it easy, I'll go on A0, right? Just to make it straightforward, right? Does that make sense? A0. Can someone nod? A0, does that make sense? Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, well, I'm done. Like, how hard was that to wire my pot, guys? So what's the point of the pot? I'm going to read a voltage out of it going from 0 to 5 volts. As I'm sweeping, I'm going to change the voltage coming out of the middle pin. That's what pots are used for, right? This is the reason for pots. Okay? Right. Okay, well, I'm done for this part. Okay? Any question on this up to here? Okay, because now I'll go on the code. Okay, so I'll stop.